Hi there. Real quick before we jump into the episode. If you enjoy this episode, or any of the other episodes, be sure to give us a follow or subscribe. It would also be great if you shared it with a friend, or better yet, left a review so others can know how awesome it is. Thanks so much. And now, the episode.
Hey there, Press Starters, and welcome to the Press Start Leadership Podcast, the podcast about game-changing leadership, teaching you how to get the most out of your product and development team and become the leader you were meant to be. Leadership coaching and training for the international game industry professional. Now, let me introduce you to your host, the man, the myth, the legend, Christopher Mifsud.
Hey there, Press Starters. Welcome back to another awesome edition of the Press Start Leadership Podcast. On this week's episode, we'll be discussing Work a Hard 8, leveling up your game studio's work culture. Achieving balance and boosting productivity, the secret power-up for success in the gaming industry. If you're into gaming and development, chances are you've come across the phrase, work a hard 8. But if the term sounds as mystifying as a hidden Easter egg in a complex RPG, fear not. This concept is the equivalent of understanding the respawn points in a frantic FPS. It's all about understanding the rules of the game. In the industry of game development, Work a Hard 8 is a philosophy, a work ethos that emphasizes balance, specifically working 8 hours, sleeping 8 hours, and having 8 hours for your personal life. It's a rebuff against the infamous crunch culture that's been plaguing the industry, with excessive overtime, relentless deadlines, and sheer burnout. So, what can we learn from a Work a Hard 8 philosophy, and how can it help transform our studios into havens of productivity and well-being? Grab your controllers, folks, because we're about to take a deep dive into the game of work-life balance in the industry. The Anti-Crunch Crusade, Understanding Work a Hard 8. The Work a Hard 8 philosophy is more than just a catchy slogan. It's a call to action against an unhealthy work culture. The principle promotes a balanced approach to work, challenging the prevalent crunch culture, the practice of working long hours, often unpaid overtime in the run-up to a game's release. But why is crunch such a big deal? Imagine you're playing a game with a severe difficulty spike. You're putting in more and more hours, but the progress seems negligible. You're not just losing in-game, you're losing sleep, personal time, and ultimately your health. That's crunch in the game development world. And it's not just about the loss of life balance. It's about the toll it takes on people's mental and physical health. The high score of work-life balance. Benefits of Work a Hard 8. Much like a well-balanced game provides an engaging and enjoyable experience for the player, a well-balanced work life can significantly enhance a team's productivity and creativity. Firstly, working a hard 8 hours can lead to more focused and productive work. When your time in the studio is limited, you tend to prioritize tasks, streamline your work process, and cut down on unnecessary meetings. In short, you work smarter, not harder. Secondly, the emphasis on a good 8 hours of sleep cannot be underestimated. As any doctor or sleep-deprived gamer will tell you, a good night's sleep can improve cognitive functions, enhance problem-solving skills, and increase alertness, all crucial aspects for a game developer. Lastly, the importance of having 8 hours for personal life, hobbies, relaxation, and socializing adds the crucial third dimension to this philosophy. A well-rested, well-rounded individual who has time for personal pursuits can bring fresh perspectives, creativity, and renewed energy to the workplace. Respawn points. Implementing Work a Hard 8 in your studio. Implementing the Work a Hard 8 philosophy in your game development studio is much like introducing a new gameplay mechanic. It requires careful planning, a supportive environment, and constant monitoring. To begin with, it's important to communicate the change to your team clearly. Explain the philosophy, its benefits, and how it will be implemented in the studio. Encourage your team members to voice their concerns and suggestions. After all, implementing a new work policy is a team effort. Next, set clear expectations for work hours and productivity. Emphasize the importance of working smart and focused during the 8-hour work period. Discourage after-hour work and emails. This is the time for rest and personal life. Make sure your team understands that while the studio values productivity, it doesn't come at the cost of their well-being. Shifting the meta. Challenging the status quo. Establishing a Work Hard 8 culture often means challenging the ingrained crunch culture in your studio. Like altering the meta in a competitive game, this process can be tough. It's important to remember that change doesn't happen overnight, and it's okay to face resistance initially. You'll need to focus on changing perceptions about working long hours, breaking the overtime equals commitment myth, empower your team members to speak up if they're feeling overworked, and make it clear that burnout isn't a badge of honor. Reinforce the idea that taking care of one's health and well-being is equally important as meeting deadlines. The co-op mode, leading by example. As a leader, it's your responsibility to set the right example. Just like in co-op gaming, when team members rely on each other, your team is likely to follow your lead when it comes to work habits. If you're sending emails at midnight or skipping lunch breaks, your team might feel pressure to do the same. Try to adhere to the work a hard 8 philosophy as much as possible. Make it clear when you're off the clock and encourage your team members to do the same. The aim is to create a work environment where everyone feels comfortable enough to disconnect after the 8 hours of work without the fear of falling behind or seeming uncommitted. Health packs, providing support. A supportive work environment is crucial for the successful implementation of the Work a Hard 8 philosophy. Think of it like health packs in a video game. They are essential for a player to survive and thrive. The same goes for your team members. Consider providing resources that support this balanced lifestyle. For example, consider offering flexible work hours, encourage breaks during the workday, or even provide resources for mental health support. Make it clear that the studio values and supports the personal time. Endgame, the long-term impact of Work a Hard 8. The Work a Hard 8 philosophy isn't a quick fix for all studios' problems. It's a long-term investment for a healthier, more productive work environment. It's like reaching the endgame content in an MMO. It requires time and commitment, but the rewards are worth it. By promoting a balanced work-life culture, you're likely to see improvements in team morale and productivity. You can also expect lower turnover rates as your team members feel valued and cared for. Plus, your studio will be an attractive place for potential talent who value work-life balance. In the hyper-competitive gaming industry, these factors can give your studio a considerable advantage. Final thoughts. In the ever-evolving game development industry, the Work a Hard 8 philosophy stands as a testament to the importance of balance. It challenges the status quo, and it provides a way to create a healthier, more productive work environment. Much like gaming, where understanding and using game mechanics effectively can make a difference between winning or losing, in the game development world, understanding and implementing the Work a Hard 8 philosophy can determine whether your studio thrives or merely survives. Remember, at the end of the day, the health and well-being of your team members are just as important, if not more, than the game they create. After all, game might be temporary, but the people who create them, their creativity, their talent, and their well-being, those are your real assets. All right, and that's this week's episode of Press Start Leadership Podcast. Thanks for listening, and as always, thanks for being awesome. Oh, hi there. The episode's over, but thanks for sticking around till the end. If you're on the quest to elevate your team's leadership, production, or game design capabilities, I'm here to assist. Leveraging extensive experience and a strategic approach, I offer personalized audits, bespoke workshops, and leadership retreat facilitation to drive your team toward excellence. My commitment is to provide efficient, reliable, and proven support, ensuring you have the tools and insights needed to thrive. Ready to unlock your team's full potential and achieve unparalleled success? Don't hesitate to press start on your journey to transformation today. Feel free to reach out directly to discuss how we can tailor a solution to meet your unique needs and goals. Let's connect and take your team's performance to the next level.